Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Breakpoint Breakdown. This is our daily roundup for day 9. The quarterfinals began today. We had the first half, Norrie versus Alcaraz, Fritz versus Khachanov. One was just one-way traffic. The other one looked like it was going to be the same way, but a guy made an effort in that one. Let's start with the one that was just a runaway train. Carlos Alcaraz against Cam Norrie, 2-3-3. Norrie just didn't stand a chance here in this one. Alcaraz was on fire. His serve, he served incredibly well. We talked about earlier in the tournament how his serve was a problem. It seems like he's gotten that back on track now. Sure. He only lost 3 points on his first serve in the first set. So that is very impressive from Carlos. He is by far looking like the favorite to win this for the third straight year. But what did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, like we said before, we highlighted it perfectly. It was a decision of firepower. I mean, everybody knows Alcaraz has better movement and firepower than Norrie. It's not really a debate. Norrie couldn't even get the crowd hyped up either because he was just getting destroyed. So yeah, I saw a comment on Instagram. It was like, it was a post like after the whole match ended, and somebody was like, "Who invited Norrie to the quarterfinals?"
I'll tell you who invited Norrie to the quarterfinals. Holger Rune did, Francis Tiafoe did, Yuri Lehechka did,
yep.
Or did, Fonseca did. Every single person in that section invited Norrie to the quarters.
Yeah, everybody that got upset. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we said, bro. I mean, Alcaraz just hits the ball too hard for Norrie to keep up. I mean, I wanted Norrie to at least put up a fight, but yeah, I mean, like you said, he plays like Draper as well. So, but Draper's also a better player, much better player than Norrie. So yeah, I mean, Norrie's just a lesser version of Draper, the way I see it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of expected. Yeah, nothing really crazy from this match.
Yeah. It was interesting because Norrie has been able to cause trouble for Alcaraz in the past, but those were on different surfaces. And it feels like on grass, there's just very few people that can trouble Carlos on this surface.
Yeah, there's so much variety there. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very, very hard to challenge Alcaraz on grass for sure.
Yeah. So now with Norrie out, there are no more British men remaining. Man, Carlos Alcaraz is now on a 23 match win streak. It is the longest of his career. Is Carlos ever going to lose a match again? I feel like right now, like, is he ever going to lose a match again?
In the hardcourt season, probably. Knowing him, I mean, we know he's sporadic on hardcourt. So eventually I feel like he'll lose, but he might get up to the 30s, I feel like. For sure. He'll probably get up to the mid-30s before he loses, 100%.
Do you think the next hardcourt tournament that he plays, because it's going to be hardcourts after this.
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati, let's just say Cincinnati last year was very, very quick. I think he might have an early loss there, maybe in Cincinnati.
Yeah, was that tournament that he lost to Monfils?
Yeah, Cincy. Yeah, that was Cincy.
Yeah. Him at Cincy is just no. It's no for me. I mean, I like to think that he would do good on hardcourt, but he's just never proved it in the past. I mean, the last time he won the U.S. Open, he won the U.S. Open.
He won it in 2022 when Djokovic wasn't allowed in the country.
Yeah, it was a random tournament for him to win. It sparked the start of his career, but I mean. Yeah, ever since then, he's been persona non grata in hardcourt, for all I know, outside of the BNP. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, and even then, the BNP is a slow court. Alcaraz doesn't do good on fast courts. We know this, but we'll see what happens in the future for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. That the slower hard courts he tends to like. It's the quicker hard courts, like a Cincinnati, like an ATP Finals. Yeah, most of the indoor courts are quick. Indoor hard court is probably his worst surface so 100%. Far. But we'll see how he can improve on there. One more thing I want to mention about Alcaraz. We saw this at Roland Garros too. He's becoming one of these players that starts off tournaments slow, but then as the tournament wears on, he plays much better. We saw it at Roland Garros too. He was dropping sets to Jumher. Who else? Shelton. Yeah. And then he ran through. I remember he ran through Tommy Paul in the quarterfinals, just like he did today against Norrie. So he's kind of becoming one of these players that just gets better as the tournament wears on.
Yeah, no, I mean he amps it up for sure. But those sets, giving up like the daily set, I like to call it, for him. Giving up the daily set is eventually going to hit him physically when he gets to like late 30s, early 30s. So yeah, I mean, for him, if he stops giving up these sets and just gets consistent, like straight set wins, like Yannick, like we've seen before from him, it'll be much easier for Alcaraz fitness wise to keep his like the same physicality that he has right now, especially in the later rounds, dude. If he can keep the same energy he has in the first round in these later rounds, dude, he's gonna be a problem for everybody, like including Sinner too. He's gonna be very, very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, but I think it's harder for Carlos to play like Yannick because he's a bit more just more of an emotional player.
Yeah, way more.
The
Yeah.
way his game works, if he wants to tone it down, I feel like the with the way he is, he may not enjoy tennis as much because he's the kind of guy that likes to enjoy tennis. We see him smiling on the court
That is
all the
true.
time. And I think if he tries to be more like Yannick and tries to dial it back to, I think he's going to stop enjoying tennis. So I don't think that's honestly, I don't think that's going to be a good fit for him. But you
Yeah.
are right about this when he does get older and not as fit as everyone tends to do. That could be a problem in the future.
Yeah, it'll hit like a wall, but I feel like he'll be always also be adjusted to that by then. His game style is also obviously going to slow down to much more consistent offense, like we're seeing Novak in his late 30s. So, I mean, yeah, like I said before, like you said as well. I mean, he enjoys tennis. He enjoys the game. His fitness is good right now. I think he'll be fine doing this for a while.
Yeah. Okay, Carlos Alcaraz, he's into the semifinals for a third straight year. Let's move on to who he'll take on next. Let's talk about Taylor Fritz, who took out Karen Khachanov today in 4 sets. It's Taylor Fritz's very first Wimbledon semifinal, a big moment for him because he had been in two Wimbledon quarterfinals previously, and he had lost both of those in 5 sets. He should have won both of those. He played an injured Rafa Nadal in 2022.
Yeah.
He should have beaten him, couldn't get over the line, then played Lorenzo Musetti last year, and he was the favorite coming in, and he couldn't get it done there. So very good, very nice for him to finally get over the line. Khachanov, he was very average in the beginning. He wasn't really redlining. Taylor Fritz was serving incredibly well, though. He got out to a lead right in the beginning, 3-0. But yeah, what did you make of Fritz?
Um, For me, what changed the match mostly were three things. One, the backhand and backhand rallies. Like I said, I thought that would benefit Khachanov. Fritz decided to just be a wall off his backhand the whole match. I mean, I know he eats up rally balls and slices, but I did not expect him to be this consistent, as well as his serve. Like you said, he was serving amazing. I mean, he was setting up amazing points. So, along with that, the third key component that I want to talk about that hasn't really been mentioned a lot are his volleys. His volleys have actually gotten tremendously better from the last time I saw him volley, which was in the ATP finals in the U.S. Open of last year. His volleys have improved much more. I feel like they're still not at that level that where they should be, but they've definitely gotten much better. And he was able to close out points against Khachanov with that. But yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of him dominating through the backhand and serve today, and his returns as well were also very efficient. His chipping and blocking were very, very efficient this match.
Okay, so I want to talk about the net play that you brought up, and then we'll talk about the return. But let's start with the net play. The net play has improved, and that's exactly what he needs if he's going to beat these big guys like Alcaraz and Sinner. That's what he needs to do if he wants to win a major. And we'll talk a little bit about that because he does have Alcaraz next, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, his net play needs to improve, and it has been improving. He's getting better at the net, so that's good. Let's talk about the return because Khachanov is another guy that's a big server. He started off this tournament playing two 6'8" guys who are both big servers, and he said that he likes to stand in and chip the return
Mm-hmm.
when he plays the big servers rather than standing far back and trying to get a full swing on it. He said in the past it doesn't work out for him. He likes coming in forward and using the chip, and he said that was something he's really worked hard on recently, and it was hard for him to do in the past. But he said this year he's really been able to do it effectively. He did it against Berrettini in Miami, and then he did it effectively in Eastbourne when he played there, and now he's done it here, and it's worked very well for him. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the way he was able to beat Pericard as well. It really neutralizes his serve because they're just bouncing the power off. They drop 150, you can just bounce it off your racket. They can't do anything against it. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of the most effective returns on tour. I feel like we're definitely starting to see it more from Yannick and Carlos as well. They're inching in towards the baseline, taking kicks up in the air on the rise. So, yeah, I mean, it's the evolution of tennis that we're seeing now, especially in the aggressive game nowadays. People are taking the ball on the rise. They're getting aggressive off serve. I mean, it's very good for the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What did you make of Fritz's level kind of falling off in that third set? Khachanov was able to take advantage. Fritz did have a medical timeout, or not a medical timeout, but he had something with his foot. I think it was blisters. What did you make of that?
I mean, I feel like that'll definitely affect him in the Alcaraz match for sure, considering Alcaraz is going to have him moving around the court. But yeah, I mean, the way I see it, it happens. I mean, for Fritz, blisters on his foot is going to be terrible because, as we know, his movement isn't the best. He's working on it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how much that affects him come the Alcaraz match. I hope that he'll most likely attempt to serve through it and just try to drop bombs on Alcaraz and just +1 the whole match. But I don't think it'll affect him too much, but if it affects him for this match, then we're gonna see what happens in the next. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I want to just talk about Fritz's mentality for a second. You like to call Zverev a mental midget. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like Fritz here in this tournament, especially, has been the complete opposite. He was so close to losing to Pesci Pericard. He was
Oh yeah.
5-1 down in
Yeah.
that four-set tiebreak. Then took out Diallo. He's played every tournament now for the past 4 weeks. His mentality has been very good. It's quite
Mm-hmm.
complete opposite of Sasha Zverev.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he's 5-0 against him in the past like 5 times they've met. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you the difference. But yeah, I mean, the way I see it, if he keeps on, if he keeps with this mental grind, he's gonna put up a fight against Alcaraz. I don't think he has a chance of beating him unless he plays insanely out of his mind. And if he does, more power to him. I mean, it's his first semifinal. It was a long time coming. Grass is his best surface by far. It's not really a debate. So yeah, I mean, it's great for Fritz, great for the trajectory of his career as well, going into his late 20s, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, late 20s.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good to see. Good for Americans as well. But I mean, I think Shelton is a future for Americans. But we'll get into that another day.
Yeah. Okay, so on Thursday we will do a preview show for the semifinals, but you talked about the Fritz Alcaraz match. Let's talk a little bit more about that. And let's talk about what Fritz can do against Alcaraz. Look, I think Taylor Fritz, he's going to need Alcaraz to not be at his best if he wants to beat him. That's just the way it
100%.
is with these guys like Alcaraz. I have some quotes here from Fritz on taking on Alcaraz. He said he backs himself against anybody with the way he played in the first two sets. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the confidence from Fritz as well. Like we said, he's mentally moving very strong. So yeah, I mean, if the confidence is there, that's the first key you need to beat Alcaraz for sure.
By the way, this is what he said. He said if he plays the way he did in the first two sets, he said there's nothing in the world anyone can do.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know though. I still think Alcaraz is the someone that can do
oh
something.
yeah, Alcaraz is someone that can do something on grass every single day. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're gonna see. It's gonna be a hype match for sure. I'm hyped for it. Yeah.
Yeah, Fritz also said he thinks grass can be an equalizer, and I think he's right about that because we know Alcaraz is really good on the grass. But you mentioned Fritz's best surface, I think by far has
Oh,
been the grass now,
by far,
and
yeah.
it's a
Not
little
a
bit how we were talking about Sinner versus Dimitrov when we said Dimitrov's best chance to beat Sinner is on the grass, and that
grass. Yeah.
unfortunately ended in a very sad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think grass is probably Taylor's best chance. He played Tiafo in the semis of the US Open last year. He said that was very stressful and that would make sense playing a fellow American
Oh
to make
yeah.
a Grand Slam final at the US
Big
Open.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that would have been tough. But yeah, what do you think Fritz can do against Alcaraz?
Yeah, I mean, for Fritz against Alcaraz, it's going to be a matter of not giving Alcaraz time to set up his forehand. I've said this before. There's a reason why he dominates at Roland Garros and forehand to forehand rallies so much. I mean, and his defense on his forehand too. I mean, if you take time away from Alcaraz, he's going to get jammed the whole match. That's what Yannick tries to do to him and has him running across the court doing cardio for 95% of their points. So yeah, I mean, two things Fritz can do: serve +1 and taking time from Alcaraz. That's the main. Again, time from Alcaraz is the main thing. And taking every ball on the rise is going to be huge for him against Alcaraz as well. Because like Rublev did, I mean, he had Alcaraz running sprints around the court the whole time as well to win their points. It's a matter of not giving Alcaraz enough time to set up and also getting him out of position on return. Because not a lot of people highlight it, but Alcaraz's stretch returning specifically is very, very, very efficient. Nobody talks about that enough. But yeah, on the stretch, he can get very, very great depth. So it's going to be I don't think Fritz can handle him forehand to forehand, but I think he can handle him backhand to backhand very well. So it's going to be a matter of Fritz getting into backhand to backhand rallies, killing points early, and just not giving Alcaraz any time or any room to breathe.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, for starters, obviously, I feel like whenever one of these guys takes on a big gun, he has to serve well. Fritz
Oh
has to
yeah,
serve well.
without a
You
doubt.
mentioned the serve +1. He's gonna need that. Forehand to forehand, yeah, I think Carlos has the edge, but I do think Fritz can take advantage of the backhand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Yeah, when it comes to do you think Taylor will be nervous at all?
I don't think he'll be nervous the way his confidence is teaming right now. I feel like he'll come into the match with an idea in mind of what he wants to do and what he wants to get out of the match. I mean, like we said before, he's been on a mental spree, really. I mean, he's been playing great for the past couple months. So for the past month, I want to say. So I don't really see a problem with his nerves, really. I don't see a problem with that. No,
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned he's gonna need to take time away from Alcaraz. He will need to do that. He's gonna need to use the backhand down the line,
100%.
change up Alcaraz. He can't get Alcaraz to get into his rhythm. So I think he's gonna need to use that. And he's just gonna need to hope that Alcaraz isn't playing at his best. Like
Yeah,
hopefully Alcaraz doesn't play like how he did today.
yeah. I mean, that's the first hope you can have. I mean, hopefully Alcaraz doesn't come out just guns firing and we get a good semifinal. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll go more in depth on this match in our preview on Thursday. But let's talk about the matches that we have tomorrow. It is the second half of the quarterfinals. The semifinals will be set after tomorrow. Day 10, I believe, tomorrow. Let's start with Kaboli and Djokovic. The head-to-head is 1-0 Djokovic. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but can Flavio Kaboli do anything here to cause one of the greatest upsets against Novak Djokovic?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, Kaboli's a super momentum-based player from what I saw against Baez back like a couple months ago, and against also against Rublev, I believe, when he played him on clay as
In
well.
the final of Hamburg.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he plays great off momentum, great server as well, great mover. I mean, the way I see it, he's gonna have to take time away from Novak as well. I think he can dominate forehand to forehand rallies, even though Novak's forehand has been great. If Novak has time, his forehand is amazing. But when you jam him, he cannot do anything off the forehand side. So the way I see it, Kaboli's gonna have to rip off his forehand like he did on clay. And it's also going to be a matter of serving as well, like we said before. I mean, to beat a great player, you need a great serve. So Kaboli's going to have to come in huge, just setting up points, +1 the whole match. And I feel like if it goes 5 as well, he has the inch on age against Djokovic for sure. Being a young 23 years old guy against a 38-year-old man, I mean, you want to bring it to 4 or 5. So the way I see it, if Kaboli can drag the match on, it's gonna be more middle, more like half split in half to who can win rather than Djokovic destroying him in like 3.
Do you do you give the edge to Kaboli if it goes 5 sets?
If it goes 5 and he's playing well, yes. However, if it goes 5 and they're both playing like semi well, like they're both playing near the same level, I give it to Djokovic just because of his clutchness and how clutch he's been over the past like probably 15 years.
Yeah, for me, if it goes 5 sets, the problem for me is that Djokovic just has way more experience in 5 sets. I haven't seen
Oh yeah,
Kaboli, so I would give the edge to Novak either way, even if they're both playing bad or not. But yeah, I think Kaboli is gonna need to play the match of his life here. To be honest, he's gonna need to serve well. He's gonna need to hit his forehand well, hit his backhand well. Look, I think he's gonna be nervous. He's playing his very first Grand Slam quarterfinal against the greatest
I,
of all time on center court at Wimbledon. It cannot be a bigger stage against a bigger player. Djokovic is Kaboli's idol. We talked about it yesterday. This is going to be a very tough ask for Flavio. And Novak has looked so good this tournament. I know he looked shaky a bit against De Minaur, and we talked about it yesterday. I think Kaboli might need to play a little bit like De Minaur. I
100%.
think he
Yeah.
should test Novak's movement at this age. I think it's appropriate for Kaboli to move Djokovic around. I think he's going to need to do that, but he's going to need to start out aggressive.
100%. It's going to be aggressive off the forehand the whole match from him. So we'll see what he comes in with his game plan tomorrow. I mean, I hope he can execute so it's a really good match for the quarters. But yeah, we'll see what happens for sure.
All right, let's make a prediction. I'm taking Novak in 3.
I'll take Novak in 4.
Okay. All right, let's move on to this one. I feel like this one's a little bit more nuanced.
Yeah.
Sinner versus Shelton. And the big what if in this matchup is the elbow of Yannick Sinner. He had the MRI today, but we don't have any official word on the results of that. It seems like he's going to be fine. He had a practice scheduled on the grass today, but he skipped that. He actually
Yeah.
ended up going into the indoor courts that they have, and he hit for about 20 to 30 minutes there. His coach, Darren Cahill, came out and he said they just fed balls to him so that he could get his rhythm. It wasn't too big of a hit. He said that Yannick couldn't skip any days right now and that he needed it. makes sense. And Kale did say that Sinner will be fine. So it seems like he'll play this match tomorrow against Shelton, which is a good sign. But something that we didn't mention on this podcast early in the tournament, because the news broke right before Wimbledon and we didn't have time to go over it. But Sinner did fire his physio and physical trainer before this tournament. And we didn't really have any official word on why. He was asked about it in his press conference, didn't really give too much away. But it is a tough situation for Sinner. Obviously, the ATP physios are there, but there's a reason why these pro players like to have their own physios. But yeah, do you think? I mean, we don't have enough information, so it's tough. But do you think his elbow will be fine tomorrow?
Like I said before, I think some pace is going to be taken off of his ball and his serve. But I mean, like I said before, Yannick is going to be able to adjust, but blocking and returning that Shelton serve is going to where it's going to be a problem. He's going to be taking an impact on his elbow. It's going to hurt a lot. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it matters how good Shelton is serving and how much the elbow will impact Shelton. Not Shelton, Sinner's ground strokes. I feel like for sure.
Okay. I also want to talk about Sinner's mental. Obviously, he has one of the best mentalities
Oh yeah,
on the tour. But just after that Dimitrov match, with the way that ended, he said in the press conference too that he's not taking this as a win. We talked about that yesterday. And I just feel like it. Sinner was down 2 sets to love. And look, if Dimitrov didn't get injured, look,
he's
Dimitrov
probably winning
probably
that.
would have won that match. And
Yeah.
Sinner is probably thinking like, should I even be here right now? Like, should Dimitrov be here? So he's gonna be thinking about that. He's very good friends with Dimitrov too, and you could tell that with the way he reacted as well. It was tough for him. So I don't know. Do you think he'll be affected by the events of that Dimitrov match tomorrow?
I feel like knowing him and knowing his coaching and everything else, he'll be over it by now. But I feel like the scoreline is going to eat at him the most, considering Dimitrov was kind of flying through him, to be honest. So, I mean, if he remembers anything, he's going to remember the scoreline and how it was and how the whole match was going in general. Not really to meet the Dimitrov injury, because, like I said before, the guy's a class act. Of course, he's going to say, "Oh, it's a problem," everything like that. But I mean, I don't think it'll affect him hugely. I feel like playing Shelton, he's going to have his head in the game, so it'll just be a matter of injury, like we said before. I mean, with his elbow and everything, there'll definitely be some pace taken off the ball and everything, but I don't think it's going to be a mental issue tomorrow. Now,
Yeah. Okay, let me just talk a little bit about them against each other. The head-to-head is 5-1. They did play here on the grass. Of course, that's in favor of Sinner, 5-1. They played on the grass last year at Wimbledon. It was 2-4-6 for Sinner, but that was after Shelton came off back 3 5-setters in a row. That is not the case this time. Shelton has been much more efficient. He's not going to be tired at all coming into this match. Look, regardless if Sinner is healthy or not, I think Sinner will be able to do a pretty good job because it's pretty clear what Sinner wants to do. He wants to find Shelton's backhand. That's what he wants to do. He wants to find his backhand. We know his slice isn't as great either for Shelton. Shelton's gonna need to serve well, which I
oh
assume
yeah,
he will do. Um, he hits his forehand well usually. He's gonna have to keep the errors down. Obviously, we know he can get erratic at
prone to
times.
errors. Yeah,
Shelton, yeah, so you can't do that against Sinner. But you mentioned it. Sinner's speeds they were down after that fall he had against
mm-hmm.
Dimitrov, and I don't know how they're gonna be tomorrow. I think it could be a concern for Yannick.
That could definitely be a concern for Yannick. I mean, if Shelton's able to go forehand to backhand, I mean that's going to be a huge problem for Yannick as well.
It
Knowing
was
Shelton's
actually
live,
the forehand speeds though that were down in the Dimitrov match.
that'll be a problem for him going back forehand to backhand against Shelton. Then yeah, I mean it's a matter of how much the injury is going to affect him in the end. I mean, hopefully it won't hinder his gameplay as much because it does, and Shelton's going to be able to take advantage of that, especially on the defense off the backhand. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to see what happens. I hope one thing that matters for Sinner a lot, though, is the velocity on his serve. If his serve is not able to be as efficient as it usually is, Shelton's going to be able to take huge advantage of that. And if he's able to get like one break, it's going to be almost impossible for
Yeah,
Sinner to get his way back in the set. Yeah.
yeah. Look, the prediction is tough because we just don't know how Sinner's feeling right now. If Sinner is healthy, I think it's Sinner in four.
Yeah, I agree with center and four as well. That's what I was gonna say as well. If he's partially injured, I'll have center and five.
Yeah, I mean, Shelton could win this though, right? In
He
five,
could no, he could entirely pull it off. Yeah, if he plays out of his mind, yeah, he's gonna pull it off.
yeah. By the way, some people I know you were telling me about this. There could be some physical concerns for Yannick if it goes five. That was the big thing that we were talking about when we previewed the Roland Garros final and how that could be at play if it goes five sets. So obviously went the distance. They played 5.5 hours and Sinner seemed fine physically there. So
Oh
I don't
yeah.
really have any more physical concerns for Yannick and his legs when it comes to long matches anymore, based on what I saw at RG. So I think he'll be fine physically. Because I don't know how Sinner is, my official prediction, I'm going with Sinner in five, but it's a tough one.
I'll take center in four. I feel
Okay.
like if he gets it back into his momentum and his groove, he'll be fine.
Okay. All right, folks. Well,
Okay.
that's what we've got for you today. We've got two really fun quarterfinals tomorrow.
For sure.
Uh, we hope that you will enjoy it.
Yeah, again, thank you guys so much for your continued support. Our handles on all our platforms is as Breakpoint Breakdown 1 on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Please go and support us there. Again, we do it for the fans, we do it for us, we do it for the entire tennis community. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next one.